What's up, y'all? You're listening to Two Dope Black Doulas, the podcast where birth talk gets real dope, where we keep it real about birth, babies, and blackness.
We are your doulas with all the tea, supporting you from bump and beyond. Hi, I'm Danielle Watson Murray, and I'm here with my dope doula sister, Brittany Jones.
Hey, Two Dope Black Doula fam. Today we're diving into a big topic: C-sections, VBACs, and birth plan pivots. Because let's be honest, birth doesn't always follow the script.
Okay, say that one more time for the people in the back. We know that people, especially unfortunately, Black birthing people, we have to be ready for all possibilities, all changes in every scenario.
Absolutely. So let's get into it. C-sections, aka cesarean births, are one of the
Mhm.
most common surgeries performed in the US.
And yet there are so many different stigmas still surrounding it. It's really like, oh, you really didn't give birth if you had a C-section, or you just took the easy route. You just wanted to keep that snapback fat, or that's what you did. I know that's what happened. And that's not true.
Not at all. A C-section is birth, period. Whether it's planned, unplanned, or emergent, bringing a baby earthside is such a powerful experience, no matter the route that baby gets here.
Absolutely, absolutely. But we also have to name the disparities that are with it, of course. We know there are biases that really happen within healthcare. And sometimes it's always like, oh, it's health policy or it's hospital policy. But this is where doulas matter. We can ask questions. What are my options? What are the risks?
Right. Can we wait? Is the baby in distress? Is this something, even if a cesarean section isn't necessary, your experiences still deserve to be respected. We can dim the lights and or ask for dim lights, or we can play calming music or speak affirmations because you still deserve a birth you're part of, not just a procedure that's happening to you.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's talk about something that's kind of near and dear to my heart, VBACs. So what is a VBAC? A VBAC stands for Vaginal Birth After Cesarean. And so many people, including hospital staff, do not know that this is actually possible.
Right. The amount of clients that I know or have told me, like my doctor told me once I have a C-section, always a C-section, or I've heard in the community that once you have a C-section, you have to keep having C-sections, and that's not the case at all.
Exactly, definitely false. I know for myself, I had a C-section with my oldest, and then with our set of twins, who technically were my second and third babies, we actually had VBAC. That was something that I really wanted. That was something I advocated for myself to my providers, to the hospital staff several times. Whenever I would have an actual appointment, I would say, I'm looking for that. And, a lot of times providers would say, you want to do what's best and healthy for you and babies. However, they get here, usually twins are usually born via cesarean, but I advocated and thankfully my body and God was able to make it happen. So I birthed vaginally my twins and it was honestly a great experience. I enjoyed it a little bit better than cesarean.
Same here. My first child was a C-section, and then when I got pregnant with my daughter, I was advocating and talking to my provider about making sure that I had the opportunity to experience a VBAC. And my provider was very open about it, and she was, on board. And, I had some on my team, not necessarily saying that they were pushing for a C-section, but they were kind of hesitant given like the medical complications that I had. But my daughter decided to come early and she came out in two pushes. So it wasn't
Well,
terrible
that was definitely
experience
better
at
than
all.
mine.
So now some hospitals or providers might not support VBACs. That doesn't mean that you can't have one. It means that you need to look into another provider, switch providers, find a provider that agrees with what you are wanting or is on board with doing, going that route with you.
Exactly, exactly. That's a whole different conversation. Are we choosing empowerment or are we choosing convenience? Because that is a change to me that can make or break your VBAC attempt or VBAC experience to make it make sense for you as our client as well as the provider.
So VBAC births can be deeply healing for people who have traumatic C-sections, but they still need support, preparation,
Exactly.
and honesty about the risk of. So just
Yeah,
being prepared for the C-section, thinking ahead is going to be a lot of thinking ahead about your postpartum and postpartum support. Who's going to be able to support
exactly.
you during that time?
Exactly, exactly. So now let's switch gears just a bit. Let's talk about when things don't go according to plan, because that is a whole conversation by itself.
Yes, because life be lifing, right?
Okay,
So
every single time.
So you did all your classes, you made your
Check,
birth playlist, you
check,
wrote a whole 5-page birth plan, right? And then
check.
baby has other plans.
Yes, birth has no script. Babies come when they want to come. That's the miracle of life. So, although it can take a detour, that doesn't mean that you failed at all.
Not at all. So we encourage folks to, call it a birth map instead of a plan or birth preferences. That way you can expect some turns, some hills, some valleys, some new directions.
Absolutely. And as doulas, it's really our job to walk with you through that task, that process, no matter what it looks like. Yes, this is what's happening right now, but here are our options. How can we make this feel less scared for you, less afraid? Even if it's different and it's not planned, we're going to work on this together. And again, that's why doulas are so important.
Yes, yes. So I've had several clients that, had planned vaginal births and, we're going to go to the hospital and, they had all of the things, right? They had the birthing combs to help, support them through
Yes.
the labor and delivery. They had all these things planned out and techniques that they had that they wanted to use within the, birth experience, and boom, something happens and it requires a C-section, whether it be an emergency situation or a less emergent situation. But I still felt like as a doula, I still needed to be there to support that person, because at the end of the day, even though the physical part of the doula support is not necessarily there anymore because you don't have that physical pain anymore because they're giving you pain medicines to prep you for the C-section, but at the end of the day, you still need that educational and emotional support. C-sections
Mm.
for people is major surgery, and that's very scary for some.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the end goal, I think we're all working toward, whether it's the doulas, the clients, as well as the providers, we are here to make sure baby gets here safely, that you are alive and well, and you feel supported, informed, and also respected. I think having body autonomy, especially as Black women, as Black birthing people in this space, we have to make sure that we are there for you emotionally, physically, especially for recovery, as we mentioned earlier. C-section physical recovery is a little different.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. We have a listener DM us this question. So
Okay, come on.
someone asked, can I still have a doula if I know I'm having a scheduled C-section?
Yes, please. Yes,
Say it again for
please.
the people in the back.
Yes, please. Absolutely. Please, Brittany, tell us on why that is so important in detail, please.
Again, you have to be prepped emotionally, mentally, physically for recovery. So having a doula to bring you on board and kind of walk you through what that experience is going to be like, what the room's going to be like, what the environment's going to be like, who
Mm,
all is going to be allowed back there, what thinking through those things and helping you be more prepared lessens your anxiety about the situation, right? If you don't know what you're going into, you're
mm.
more likely to be more anxious about the situation. So having a
Exactly.
doula to be able to prepare you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And thankfully, Brittany and I have been a part of several OR C-sections. So I feel like that is helpful for us to be able to describe what you just mentioned to our clients on what is expected, what post C-section looks like,
Absolutely.
and going into the recovery room. And then maybe going to your room. It's different for every client, but it's helpful when we have, boots on the ground per se, to be able to describe that to our clients.
All right, y'all. So let's hit you with some quick takeaways. C-sections are birth period.
Mhm.
VBACs are possible. Don't let outdated policies limit your choices.
Yes.
Birth plans should leave room for pivots. Your power
Mhm.
is not in the plan, it's in knowing and choosing.
Exactly. So if you want to learn more, and we'll also put this in the captions for us as well, it's ICANN, which is the International Cesarean Awareness Network, as well as evidence-based birth VBAC information. And always, always connect with your doula, hopefully in person or virtually, and that will support you and your full vision that you have for your birthing plan.
Thank you all for listening in for another episode of Two Dope Black Doulas. We hope you feel more informed, more empowered, and more affirmed. Don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe to us, leave us a review. Follow us on IG at Two Dope Black Doulas, TikTok at Two Dope Black Doulas, Facebook at Two Dope Black Doulas, and YouTube as well. And get your, if you got a birth story or a question, please hit us up. Let us know.
All right. And until next time, stay dope, stay rested, and keep birthing on your own terms.